on the SDS Consortium website, and all users have access to it. So with that being in mind, just kind of be mindful of what you say or show on your screens. All right, so first and foremost, safety. So make sure that hopefully everyone's in a safe space or a safe spot to take this meeting. And of course, as always, just kind of do yourself a level 1 safety assessment and make sure that you're able to do so. So if you're driving or anything like that, that you're able to pull over and that type of thing. So I'll give a quick, I guess, 15 seconds to kind of do that if you need to make any adjustments. All right. Okay. So first thing I want to kind of go about discussion was, again, kind of remind you folks about the coming up consortium face-to-face in April. For the ones that may not know, or the announcements from last October, it's going to be in Allentown in Pennsylvania, so from PPL. The date is April 2nd through the 6th. And we had a conversation last week with the leadership team. I don't think Randy, I think you're absent from that one, but I guess either fortunately or unfortunately for me, all the notes I took I left in the office, so I don't have them. From what I can remember, anyways, I believe what Aubrey was discussing was that the transportation to and from the hotel to the venue, it has been, I think it has been acquired. So there should be, I think, shuttles and that type of thing to kind of shuffle you back and forth. If I remember right, I think she has 2 of the 3 days committed to. I think they're still working on the last day to basically get a sponsor for that. But hopefully shortly they should have that last day kind of acquired. There are going to be events. The one that I remember off the top of my head, and I wrote the other ones down. So one of the events I think is going to be at the Mack Truck Center. I think it's like a big old. I think it's actually at the assembly plant or something of that nature, if I remember right. That'll be kind of like one of the face-to-face meeting locations for the evening. I do not know I guess one question I did have was as far as accessibility or requirements or anything of that nature that we have to have. I haven't received any of that yet, or any type of special type of things that you may have to acquire. I don't think there's going to be anything, but because I guess one thing I was thinking, if it is an assembly plant, some places you go to, regardless if you're there as a guest or not, sometimes just requirements or hard hat and all that type of thing. I don't think it's that. I think it's probably in the conference room of some sort. But just out of curiosity, I was asking a question. Let me see. I know that I think the building that we're actually going to be having the venue in is a brand new building. So I was asking about AV requirements. Cause I know last time there was a big, I won't say concern, but there was some questions around some recordings and this type of thing. So this April, or this go around in April, I do plan on actually recording this time, and it seems that the venue should be able to support the GoToMeeting session live while we're there. So if you cannot attend, I will have my GoToMeeting session open, and I'm also going to try to record it as well if I can, for folks who can't attend but still want to be, I guess, present in the sense. The only thing about it is that I'm gonna be using our personal GoToMeeting license, and I only have 100 slots open. So if the slots fill up past 100, then I will not be able to accommodate those individuals. I don't think that we're going to need that many, to be honest, but I would say if you have a couple groups of people, that type of thing, it might be best to get into a conference room and have one person call in, that type of thing, just to kind of keep the numbers down. But that's my plan for this time, is to actually have that, and again, like I said, try to record it as well so we can actually have that for future use. I know in October we had some issues with the bandwidth where I think Jeremy's go-to-meetings was going in and out. So hopefully that won't happen this go around, and I'm still trying to validate that the bandwidth will be able to be supported. So hopefully that will be a good caveat to with these future face-to-face meetings. I guess any questions, I guess? I probably won't be able to answer that much at the moment, but I guess I'll throw it out there real quick about the venue. Okay.
You probably already answered it. So were the classes and breakout sessions going to be in the same hotel?
No, there will be a different, like a totally separate building.
Okay, so we got to leave. All right.
Yeah, so I think the hotel and the location of the actual meeting rooms are going to be in two separate places. And I think I was told too, Randy, this I guess you need to know as well, is that our breakout sessions will not necessarily be in the same room every day. So we can't just leave our stuff there, kind of thing. So we might make sure for the day we pack up and get everything that we need.
Okay.
But I'll make sure that we go through safety protocols and all that type of thing as far as fire drill exits and all that type of stuff, depending on where the rooms are.
This thing go from Monday to Friday, Monday morning to Friday afternoon, or what's the deal?
I think it's going to be the same thing like it was last time, where it was like you stated, it was Monday afternoon to like Thursday evening at the latest, I think. Yeah. So Monday afternoon will be the quote unquote out of the box software stuff, and then Tuesday will be the everyone together in the meeting, and then the breakouts Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then we get back together Thursday afternoon. So I think the format is going to be exactly like it was in October. I haven't been told otherwise, but of course, once I find out, I'll let y'all know. Good question, though. Anybody got anything else?
I was just gonna say, for some people that I invited, especially if there's anyone from New Hampshire on the line, from Eversource, or Eastern Mass, or anyone out of the civil group, if anyone wants to attend this, they can speak with their managers and find out if they would like to attend.
What is it in regards to? That's Ray Hamilton from Harvard.
Basically, it should be an overall, it should be the same as last time, Jared, correct?
Yes.
So yeah, it'd be an overall, basically broken out into a couple different groups. This is the P&C one, which is more the AutoCAD electrical. There's the physicals one, which was more the inventor. There's a civil one, which would probably be interesting for you, which we don't have the software, but it'd be, if you'd like to peek into it a little bit, it's more on the InfraWorks and AutoCAD Civil 3D, I believe.
Okay,
and then there's a technology group as well.
Yeah, and the technology group deals with the vault, but more on the setups and those type of things, where I think in each breakout session, we also deal with vault, but from a content usage dumping into type of ideology. So, and I believe that we're going to try, I haven't got a date yet, but I'm pretty sure just like last time, we should have some agendas ready to go about about a month prior or 3 weeks prior to the meeting, so that way you guys kind of get an idea of which classes that you want to attend.
And this is in Pennsylvania, or where is it?
Yes, it's in Allentown, Pennsylvania. And PPL is going to be sponsoring it, so it's going to be around their complex, I believe, is where the meeting location is.
What month would that be, or?
April. It's April 2nd through the 6th, so it's the first week of April. First week, yeah.
And it's free, basically, right? There's
Yeah,
no registration.
Yeah, there's no registration cost or anything. You just have to pay for your travel and lodging. The lunch and breakfast will be provided, but and I think, you know, we have our little, I guess, evening things that has heavy hors d'oeuvres type deal. But, you know, of course, if you want to do dinner, that's going to be on your own as well. But like I said, breakfast and lunch is provided. There's no registration cost, but you do have to provide, or your cost will be transportation and lodging. And I believe we should do should have like last time, where there will possibly be a lodging, I'm sorry, there should be a group discount for the consortium as well at the hotel. So the cost should be cheaper than, or hopefully will be cheaper than reserving the room through your utility, or however you may do it.
And I can get information on all this somewhere?
It will be out on the actual, it'll actually be on the SDS Consortium website once finalized details are completed. I don't know exactly when they plan on doing that. I'm assuming within the next week or so, but it will be available on the website. I'll have all the details as far as where it is, the dates, the hotel that you can reserve reservations at. I'm pretty sure there'll probably be a Survey Monkey thing that will go out on that will kind of get an idea of how many people are attending, what you're attending for, that type of thing. You will have to register for certain things. I know last time there was a couple of things that you had to pre-register for, which was like, I think there was like a brewery thing we had to go to, but so they have a limit of individuals that can, you know, kind of occupy the space for fire code. So some things you might have to pre-register for, but also that will be available on the website as well. Right now it is not out there at current state, but I'm gonna talk to Jeremy, I think, in the next couple of days, and I think it should be out there in the next coming weeks. But once I do see that it's out there, I'll try to make sure I email everybody to tell you it's available. And or I think actually Trevor Scullion does a pretty good job too at letting everybody know when the registrations are available or ready for everyone to register.
Hey Jared, the other thing too, being some of the new members of my group and stuff, what I'm probably gonna end up doing for my group out of Eversource is I'll probably send an email with instructions on how to where to go to get onto the SDS consortium. I was wondering actually if you had any good information, maybe you already have some documentation that maybe I could just share that way. If not, I can probably write something up.
Yeah, I don't really have anything as far as how to, I mean, really you just kind of sign up, and once you've been accepted to the consortium site itself, you basically, to get into the P&C section, and I don't know what it is for everybody else's, but for mine specifically, there's a link. I'm sorry, within the forum section, there's a little link up in there that actually links the meetings themselves as far as adding it to your calendar within that link. So you just click on it and it adds it to your calendar. And that's for the P&C the P&C committee meetings. But all the other ones may be a little different, but I don't know. But basically, you just kind of sign up for each one you want to attend.
All right, so maybe what I'll do instead, maybe I'll set up a meeting for next week sometime for the Eversource company with all the different divisions that we have as part of the group, and I'll basically go over getting into the consortium and give kind of a breakdown of all the different groups, and then hopefully each member will decide which group they feel like they fit more into, and they can just sign up for that group and attend those meetings.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, we can do that if that makes it easier.
Yeah, I just thought I have to kind of talk to a couple of other members of the SDS Consortium group and see when they have meetings, because I haven't seen much in terms of meetings with them as well.
Yeah, 'cause I think just to let you know, I did ask Justin real quickly. I think the civil side is meeting Thursday.
Just civil Thursday, okay. And I don't know when the P&C, the physicals committee meet, but But either way, I'm putting stuff together already for the group. So more than likely my group will probably have a meeting next week to kind of go over all this. So.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks.
Okay. Any other questions? I guess I'm not trying to be a dead horse or anything, but just want to make sure if there's anything obvious. Okay. All right. So with that being said, so the one thing I definitely want to kind of talk about, or at least kind of put into your head or mindset, I know that last time in October we kind of broke out the sessions into basics versus advanced. So basically, you know, the ones just getting started and that type of thing, it's kind of the basic things and what you kind of need to know, where the advanced kind of took over and kind of went into more complex how-tos and best practices and that type of thing. So I guess I have some questions for you guys, and of course you don't have to answer them right this second, but kind of start thinking about it. I'll probably send out another survey maybe in the near term to kind of get an idea. But I was kind of curious, would it be advantageous of us to kind of use some of the same topics as last October to kind of continue with at least I'm thinking mainly on the basics and the thing, maybe keep the same type of topics. And then, of course, if you guys have already seen it, you can go. I just kind of want to make sure that we're able to accommodate anyone coming in brand new, but don't want to, I guess, take it over per se. So I'm kind of thinking that the basic session may not be as long as it was in October. It may be more of a condensed version in April. Does anybody have any comments around that or any thoughts? Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't here last October, so I'm sorry I can't give any information.
It's fine. Yeah. I guess what I will say is that my thought is, because I know that it's kind of hard to fill out 3 days, to be honest, with continual stuff and that type of thing. And so I just want to make sure, again, we don't stay stagnated or anything of that nature. So I guess my thought is, and again, if anybody has any comments or anything, is to let me know. But I was kind of thinking mainly, I guess, for letting you guys know, is kind of the first half a day, which would probably be Tuesday, and maybe a little bit of Wednesday, but not the whole half, but maybe just like an hour or so. Just kind of going over again, maybe the basics, or maybe just that first day is probably good enough for anybody who's new or still wants to learn some of the basic information, and maybe kind of reusing some of the same data from October. It's kind of some of my thought. And then kind of for the latter parts of it, I'm kind of thinking more or less kind of having some more maybe roundtable discussions, kind of around the toolkits, advanced functionalities, and that type of thing. So mainly kind of get some of the more of the dialogue. I think one thing I noticed last time in October, once we started kind of discussing a lot of the nuances, it seemed to kind of get traction pretty well. So I was kind of, I guess, just kind of changing it up a little bit from last time, kind of thinking more, having some more open dialogue discussions around some of the challenges of sorts that certain folks are running into. That's kind of what I'm thinking for this go around in April. I think it's kind of, yes.
Sorry, this is Jen Newcomb. I was just wondering if everything that's covered in the basic sessions is available on the website, or if it could be made available. If you're cutting down the discussion, because I don't know if you remember, I was trying to jump around to all the different meetings because it was only Nelson and I, and it didn't work out so well. So it'd be nice to be able to just do the basics on the website and then go for all the advanced discussions.
Yeah, I think I know I threw the PowerPoint slide out in the SharePoint. Not SharePoint, I'm sorry, the website. And of course, I'm pretty sure that's not going to detail everything, but it kind of gives you an idea of the topics. I do not have anything that explicitly explains in detail any of that type of thing. It was more or less, I don't know, I guess kind of this, I don't want to say shoot from the hip, but it's kind of more of an ad lib type of thing. Of course, I can probably put some more details together and make it available to the site, so that way they're kind of there as far as almost kind of like a frequently asked questions type of thing.
Yeah.
I just haven't done it yet, but that's definitely something that I can look into doing. And of course, this, you know, it'd be kind of a you know, just I guess myself and Randy and you know, our interpretation of those. But of course, we'll try to make sure it's as generic, I would say generic, but as simplistic as it can, so that way it can apply to everyone and not just be specific to one utility versus the other. So that kind of, I guess that's kind of what I'm kind of getting, or I kind of asking the questions around, because I know that our consortium itself has been growing pretty steadily for the last couple of years. I don't want to alienate anybody, but yet I don't want to bore other folks either, you know, type thing. So with this, you know, because sometimes it can kind of get repetitive if you've been there for a long time and kind of hear the same things over and over again. So this go around, I will say that I'm definitely, like I said before, I'm definitely going to try my best to try to record and to audio, visual, or AV it as much as I can, so that way after it is completed, that will be out on the website as well. So hopefully this go around, this should have a little bit more AV content to utilize. I don't know if that answers your question really, but
Yeah, thank you.
okay, no problem. And I guess another thing I was thinking as well, as far as roundtable discussions and things, was kind of maybe thinking having the last Thursday, in a sense. Nate, are you on the phone?
Yes.
Okay. I was kind of maybe thinking that last day or that Thursday morning, to kind of mainly just kind of go through and kind of, I wouldn't say corner you, but maybe kind of just go through a whole bunch of things on the toolkits, on suggestions, changes, issues, updates, where we can kind of since we don't get to, you know, get you in person all that often, to kind of get your take on things. I kind of wanted to ask you, I guess personally, if that would be okay with you, but I know not to put you on the spot or anything, but I was kind of thinking that might be a good way or a good time to kind of get that.
Yeah, it sounds like fun. Yeah, we should have our new release out by then. We'll have we've accumulated 91 things that we've done to the product since our last release. So maybe we can talk about some of those things.
Okay, yeah, because I kind of said in October we kind of had that kind of started going that path, but because of time we had to kind of cut some of that short. So I think it'd be a great opportunity for that, if for even the folks who haven't used it yet, to still be able to kind of get insight and to give some input on some of that.
Yeah, we're always looking for ideas. In fact, I got a whole bunch of them from a couple, I think Empirical and Southern have been very active. Come up with some great ideas, more ideas than we can implement. and yeah, so I'm pretty busy. But yeah, awesome. It's a good thing. It's all good.
Okay, cool. Okay, yeah. So I think that might be a good thing to do. And I think the last thing I have on here, just as a prelim, is demos. So of course, just like with everything, there's always demos of things. So just like always, not that anybody has to raise their hand or anything right out in the moment. Because I know from last time I had a ton of requests from like 3 people. So hopefully we can have more than that this go around. But so this kind of, I guess, really more or less, you know, I'm kind of thinking, if you do want to give a demo of some aspect or part or piece, or even if this go around, if you have a roundtable discussion that you want to get everybody to talk about, I mean, I'm kind of thinking in my head, you know, definitely let me know about that so we can add it to the agenda. My kind of prelim thought is to maybe have that idea to me and to Randy by, say, end of February. Just because I really kind of don't know exactly when everything is going to have to be due as far as the face-to-face consortium itself. So I'm kind of thinking end of February to kind of give you guys time to kind of have a good idea of kind of what you want to show or do, or even maybe have some of it done already. Again, it doesn't have to be an actual demo. I'm just kind of thinking out loud. It could be, like I said before, it could be roundtable discussions or anything really. just something to kind of, make the best of our time together.
I have a quick question, being that this is my first meeting. You were saying these toolkits for these, I'm guessing different CAD programs. Is there something on the internet that I can take a look at just to get a better idea?
There's I know Nate, who's on the phone right here, he's from SBS, and they have a website that has, I think, videos and other stuff, and explanations of what the toolkits are. And Nate, if you want to fill in with more detail with your website.
Yeah, that would be substationdesignsuite.com. I think that's it. Now that you asked me, my brain fades. So let me check that, and I'll get back to you here in a moment.
Okay. But yeah, there should be some information on that, and I think if I remember right too, I was kind of browsing YouTube the other day, and I ran into, ironically, Uncle Randy's explanation of the toolkit with AutoCAD electrical, and I think it was a 2013 version, but it still kind of gets the point across. So I can actually give you guys, I'll throw it out there on the forum for the consortium, or for the P&C group, the actual link to the YouTube page. But for anyone who may want to watch it or anything, it kind of gives a pretty decent explanation of kind of, like, I wouldn't say the basics, but it's kind of the idea of using some of the toolkit functionalities with AutoCAD Electrical, and kind of what AutoCAD Electrical is kind of intended to be used for in substation design. So I'll definitely try to throw it out there too to kind of help out. And I do know go ahead.
I pushed the link out to the chat window for the SBS Substation Design Suite. So that's the inventor for physical, and AutoCAD, the SDS tools for AutoCAD Electrical for the P&C part.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Nate.
Thanks.
Anybody else have anything else?
I just wanted to mention, I know Nate wouldn't say it to others, but he also has a blog that is very helpful. So I can send a link to that blog, and while he doesn't cover all the things that are done with the SPS tools, but he has tips and tricks that are very helpful for people who are just getting to know AutoCAD Electrical.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, I guess Praveen, if you want to, or I'll say you can add it there also too, if you want to add that to the discussion on the consortium site too. That way it's out there for everyone who might need it. It might already be out there. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've been to that. I don't usually go to the consortium website, but just a few things that are there that are very helpful.
Okay. Well, thank you. So like I said, not that you have to kind of come up, or not that you have to basically come up to a conclusion right now, but as far as kind of the idea for the next face-to-face, does it sound kind of okay? Or I guess I'm kind of looking for you guys' feedback on any other suggestions of things that you might want to add or remove.
Sorry, it's Ray Hamilton again. I just had a question. Would this website have information on the InfraWorks too, or no?
You talking about the substations, the consortium site?
The link that we were just sent from Nate's.
Oh, I don't know.
No. The link that Praveen sent is just for AutoCAD Electrical stuff.
I think the toolkits are, Nate, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the toolkits are mainly focused on Inventor and AutoCAD Electrical right now, and that's probably it, right?
I believe that's correct. Yes, that's accurate.
Okay, so I think anything InfraWorks wise, you might want to check into the Autodesk website themselves, even though they're not very straightforward. But That's probably not what you wanted to hear, but, but you know, sorry. Go ahead.
The other thing too is, sorry.
Okay, go ahead. I'm
No,
talking about something different.
No, I was going to say the other thing too in regards to civil. I believe we can probably just contact Justin. I forget his last name. Air
Yeah.
Yeah, we could talk to Justin. He may have some more information on stuff like that for civil.
Yeah, just because, like, you know, with this, you know, the call you're on right now, and the group that's in this is mainly P&C focused, so it's not in our wheelhouse. You know, no offense. But yeah, Justin would probably be a good resource for that.
I have a quick question. I realize most of it's for electrical, but being that because I opened the link that was sent, it does show structure. So is there, as far as, is there like a library of I don't know, standard structures for the utility industry, or?
I will say that there's a library that SBS does host that has content in it as far as structures are concerned. But they may or may not comply to what your utility needs.
Okay. And how would I determine that? Is there
I think Nate, you might need to help me out on this. I think on your main, if I can't remember wrong, I think it's on you guys' main website, right? The content hub or whatever it's called.
Yeah, there's some sample content for the physical, the inventor models for transformers and breakers and stuff like that, but there's not a lot, and structures. Structure's a big deal. But probably the right person to talk to would be Steve Kaufman. I'll put his email address in the chat window if you have some specific questions about the inventor part of the application. He's very good at building the. He's very good at inventors, so he can probably give you a heads up on what is there, what is planned, and take it from there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Anybody have anything?
On another note, I just wanted to point out that we still have some best practice documents that need to be written. We had about 7, I think, at the last meeting when we got done, and 7 that needed to be done. And I'm not sure if any of them have been done at this point. So we have any volunteers that kind of want to write some of these best practice documents, that would be great. But I think we listed those out there on the website, didn't we, Jared?
I believe so. Yeah. Yeah, you're kind of taking my agenda item number 6 out of there. But yeah, forget. It's all good. Yeah, I think they're out there on the thing. If I'll try to go out there and verify if they are or aren't. But I believe they are, if I remember right. But I'll try to make sure that if not, we can throw them out there pretty easily.
Yeah.
I guess to kind of pivot off. Go ahead.
We had the Pinless best practice document on the list, and I think Praveen already got one of those started, I believe. Am I correct, Praveen?
Yeah, I think it should be. If it's not there, then either Bill did not upload it, or because it was finalized and.
I remember seeing one.
Yeah.
We can work on that this week and try to get that to Jared. I know I have a copy of it somewhere on my C drive. You may have the latest copy.
Yeah, I have a document. I think it's converted to PDF, so I can send it to Jared and you.
And there was another one that, as far as block creation standards, I know we had some stuff on block creation. So that's probably one that we can tackle. It's other. Just to throw
that's fine. I mean, I know that there's a list of I know Randy, me and you both, I think before we left that in October, we kind of threw down a list of the ones I think we needed or that needed to focus on. Yeah, and that's, like you said, I think we'll try to throw out a list. I guess to your point though, I think I I guess, well, not that we need to have them right this exact second, but definitely is something to be thinking about as far as folks folks in this group to volunteer to complete those. Or if worse comes worse, then we'll just basically, I wouldn't say voluntold, but maybe highly suggest that someone do them. So yeah, so we'll come with that list, and I think maybe the next meeting that we have for next month is maybe start divvying some of that out, so we can kind of get some of that started and get that completed.
Yeah.
Like
Sorry. What exactly are you looking to divvy out? Sorry, this is all new to me. So.
Yeah, basically what we have is we have identified I guess the biggest thing for each utility, especially if you're coming on brand new, is where to start. So what we're trying to do is trying to come up with some documentation around best practices and standardization, so that way that we all can come to a agreement as a unified voice of utilities within this consortium to all either create or put together or to identify certain aspects of the parts and pieces the same. So that way, one, we're all consistent, and two, we can start at some point in time maybe start sharing content with each other, so you don't have to start from scratch, or maybe even the end goal at some point in time would be something very similar to the IEEE, where there's a common set of symbols and that type of thing. With standards around them. And then also I guess thirdly is to put together so that also not mainly, but also help out with the toolkit functionalities. So that way, when Nate codes the toolkits for P&C or the guy who does the ones for Inventor, that way if they put those together, they actually are putting together to be able to for everybody to use, so that way they're using the same information or pulling it from the same attributes or the same iProperty or whatever. Even though the value may be different because your utility requires something different than mine, but I'm pretty sure we can categorize things the same. That's kind of the, I guess, intention of it.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. And so I got a quick 10 minutes. Well, I don't want I guess for time and things. I want to keep you longer than you have to. I did put together, as far as best practices and those type of things are concerned, to kind of pivot from Randy's comment. I did put together a document review workflow documentation, and I'm just going to kind of quickly hit it quickly. It's kind of, I guess, I don't know, wordy. Unfortunately, in my position, I've had a lot of, I guess, legal stuff that we had to do, so I'm just used to writing this way. But so in a nutshell, I kind of put this document together to kind of explain what the document creation procedure may need to, or something that we kind of can utilize as a roadmap on how to put these things together. Just because if we start kind of putting all these best practices and standards and all this together kind of on our own and the way and that type of thing, if try to standardize it a little bit so that way we at least can kind of have the same kind of output. So not to really bore anybody with anything, but to kind of, I guess, hit the cliff notes of it all. So what I did was I kind of put the purpose of what the document is. So from the document's perspectives, we kind of have 4 different types. So we have a perceptive or formal category and informal. So our formal categories are kind of the things that we send up to the leadership team to approve and to create or to put the stamp on it to make it official. So these things will be, in this case, will be the standards. So anything that's a standard. So I think the couple ones that were done and need to be kind of final rubber stamps is like PIN list and family codes and stuff like. So things that we try to standardize on. So we're all kind of the same and that type of thing. And then the other will also be best practices. So I kind of put some definitions and some language around it. And then the informal ones, these would be kind of the ones that we kind of keep internal to our own group. It may or may not need to go out to everybody within the utility consortium itself, but kind of a quick I guess, quick hitters type things. So anything that, like, I think I kind of identify as a job aid. So kind of the how to or step by step on how to do something. So basically how to put together a P&C schematic component, or how to interact with it, or something of that nature. Just basically this little step by step little workflows. So those kind of things, again, they kind of have, I guess, a quote unquote approval kind of session, but not necessarily has to be final approved by anything. And then the other one's miscellaneous stuff, so anything like meeting minutes and those type of things. So I'm pretty sure some of that might not be things that you guys will have to worry about, more or less for myself and Randy and that type of thing to kind of keep together. But just to kind of have some, just kind of what the documents are. So I think you said, I think Praveen and things were kind of putting some stuff together. So what I kind of did was kind of put together a quick, I would say quick, but just kind of a workflow per se. So basically, in a nutshell, again, not to try to get too down into it, but basically what we're going to try to do is assign a P&C Consortium member lead for each standard or user guide. So like, for example, if Praveen's going to be the individual doing the pin list, then he'll be the lead for that pin list document. So he'll be required or be recommended to be required to make sure that all the content's in there. He goes out and gets the information from other folks, those type of things. So to kind of basically be the editor and the leader of that document. And then, so, I guess one thing, we'll have two cycles, what was it? So the first thing to determine is that if the document is required or not, that will be decided upon the person the lead, and possibly me and Randy as well, just kind of say, hey, is this really necessary or not necessary, or something that might need to be updated with something that currently exists. So the way it would happen, so once that's completed, more or less, then that document will the document lead will put together a draft, and then we'll basically go through the cycle of giving it to you guys as members of the consortium or the P&C committee, and you guys will review it and give us back comments. So if some, things that you may or may not agree with, or something that needs to be modified, changed, added, whatever. So basically the lead will be kind of responsible for taking those comments and things and, kind of adding them or absorbing them into the document. And I think I have in here where we'll go through 2 committee review cycles. So we'll go through one more time just to make sure that everybody had their word, let's say. And then I think the one thing I had a question about, and I put this kind of I guess kind of using our own, I kind of used our own Duke internal documentation creation to kind of help me out with this. One thing they did add in there, and something I don't know if we want to add or not, but I think they have like a 2-week minimum or maximum cycle request. So basically you have 2 weeks to respond back. If you don't respond back, then we move on without you, type thing, just to kind of keep things moving instead of it just sitting there forever. I don't know if that's, I guess my question to you guys, I don't know if that's still relevant, or we want to shorten it, extend it, whatever. I still think I would like to have some type of, I guess, expiration date on the request or for review. So that way we can at least try to make sure we keep moving forward. So once that's kind of been reviewed and that type of thing, everybody's made their comments, we're kind of good to go. Then after all that's kind of been done, so after the second review cycle, basically the consortium or the member lead will finalize all the content, put everything together, and then we'll be responsible for getting signatures. So that will be the person that created the document, which will be the lead. There's a reviewer, the person that will review the document, and I think current state is Uncle Randy on the phone? Mr. Brunette? I
don't think so. Otherwise, we would have known a long time ago.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, since he's not here, I'm going. I've already added him in there, but I guess he's kind of going to be there. Since he's our technical advisor within the P&C group, I kind of put him down as our reviewer just to kind of make sure that it's not going to blow up AutoCAD Electrical from a out-of-the-box perspective and that type of thing. And then myself and Randy would also sign the document to make it official, I guess. And then once that's been done, it'll go up to the leadership committee to get basically, yes, that they agree with it according to according to the SDS Consortium bylaws is kind of the way they got it set up. But once that's completed, then it gets stored out on the I keep saying SharePoint, but the website on the P&C group. So I think Randy, me and you had to get together and kind of figure out how we want to maybe build a repository to put these things in, or if we need, make it a little bit better than what it is or whatever. But basically just storing it out there for people to utilize. So I kind of got on here so basically the job aids and miscellaneous are very similar with the exception of it does not need to go to the leadership committee for any reason. It's kind of what we can use internally. But the chair and co-chair still needs to have be acknowledged of it, so that way we can make sure that it's that everybody within the consortium is aware of it. So I put together basically a document approval and sign-off process, and each one has a little bit different variances. And I think lastly, and then the publication side of things. So you guys will know how things are published, which will be the consortium website on the Buddy Drive, that type of thing. So I'll make sure I try to put links and those type of things on here, so you can just, if you need to, we can use this document that you can click on, and it should bring you to those locations automatically. Again, this is kind of a draft type thing. Of course, I think the one thing that according to our bylaws as well, there will be a document number scheme or convention. I couldn't remember off the top of my head, but I will have that in here, what that is, so that way you have it to follow. And then, of course, we got header designations, document name, and then also a document revision process. So basically, in a nutshell, what that kind of means is, what do you do when something gets, what's the revision process as far as 0, 0, 0, to 1, to 2, to 5, to 3, so forth, so on. And then lastly, I put together the roles. So the roles. So the four main roles in this is basically the member lead of the document, of whatever that may be. So that'll be either a member that selected by the committee or has volunteered to create, edit, or modify the needed document. Randy Brunette will be the current reviewer of all those documents, to kind of put a second set of eyes on. And then myself and Randy will be the chair and co-chair for final approval signature. And then, of course, we have any questions, you can let me or him know. So I've tried to run through pretty cliff notey, but it's kind of, I guess, the first draft of this. I'll kind of throw it out there on the site. If you guys want to grab it and just look at it and kind of give me your comments. If you want to, kind of give me some feedback on this to see if, to kind of edit it or to change things around if need be. But of course, if everybody's okay with it, then we'll kind of use this as our springboard for creating those best practice documents and standards and those type of things that have a structure put together to kind of put them, create them, get them reviewed, get comments back, all that type of thing. So that way we have something to kind of follow and go by. I guess I know I kind of went through really quickly, but is there any, I guess, offhand comments or anything on this?
Good to me.
Yeah. All right.
Sounds good.
All right, cool. So yeah, I'll put that out on the site, and like I said, if you guys want to look it over and just give me some feedback, let's say by next meeting, so a month from now, so that way we can finalize it and have at least a procedure to start putting all these things and best practices that we need to put together in a standard format. Okay, so it's kind of the document. Because I know I've been kind of promising you guys this for a while, so I figured I'd get started on it and kind of get something put down on paper. So it's kind of be available to you. I guess then kind of, since we're kind of at the end of the thing, is there any other roundtable or does anybody else have any other discussions or anything that you want to bring up, questions, comments? Okay. All right. Well, I guess appreciate everybody's time. Just kind of, I guess, keep in mind I think the main things I would like feedback from you guys as far as action items for the next meeting. Kind of look over the discussion options for the agenda. I would like to get your feedback on those. Kind of give me just kind of give me your feeling on things that you would like to see, like to do. Those type of things for our April face-to-face. Just kind of get some ideas. Also, as an actionable item for everybody, kind of review that review workflow document on document creation. Again, kind of give me your input on all that as well. And like I said, I would like to try to get you guys' input on those by the next meeting in February. So that way we can go ahead and have everything kind of squared up and ready to go for the October. I'm sorry, for the April meeting together. And also, lastly, if you have any, if I can look at where's that. If you have any demos or anything that you would like to show or anything of that nature, like I said, if you can have some type of idea or something, or it doesn't have to be finished, but just a outline or an idea or just a thought of what you want to do, to myself and Randy, so that way, again, we can add it to the agenda that we're going to have to put together for the April meeting. So with that, any additional questions or anything? If not, then everybody can have a good afternoon and the rest of your day.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you.